This video has been a long time, and I mean a long time coming. My top 5 players I will be looking forward to watching this year in the 2023 NBA season, coming at you right now. But first, we gonna get a word from our sponsor, who is nobody, because I am nobody. Let's get into the video. So first off on the list, because we ain't gonna do no nonsense, I don't need to tell y'all subscribe, like none of that, because if you like me, you gonna subscribe. Simple. But with that being said, the first on the list, no order, no none of that, I got Zion Williamson. Now, there are a couple reasons why I'm on the lookout for Zion. Other than his ability to pull out a crazy 50-point dunk contest dunk to get the crowd jumping and the crowd rocking, or his just superhuman athleticism on the defensive end to send a block 8 rows deep. Like, that should be crazy, bro. I really want to see, above all else, what Zion looks like coming into the season more than anything. And what I mean by that is, has he shed real weight? Has he shed body fat? Has he gained muscle in the right places? Has he dropped weight in the right places? Yes, you could lose weight and you can gain muscle and do all those things, but are you putting them in the right places? A perfect example of that is Lamar Jackson coming into this football season. He said he put on 20 pounds of weight, which most people, you think, damn, that's a lot of weight, bro. Are you gonna be able to run as fast as you normally do, be as loose as you normally are, and things of that nature? But when we get into the league, we know that these guys have specific trainers that go to specific goals. And when you look at Lamar now, even with the 20+ pound gain, he doesn't look much different than he has in past years. He looks fuller. He looks like he might be able to take hits better. And you see that the weight was distributed pretty evenly across his body. Same with Zion, but a little bit in reverse, whereas I want to see less fat in the belly area. I want to see more tone and definition in the arms, and I want to see his neck start to shrink a little bit, because you can see it in him. If and when he retires, that metabolism is about to be slowed in a motherfucker, and if he don't continue to work out, I'm afraid to say Zion might become very, very big, because let's be real, that's just his body type. It's nothing against him. There's no body shaming, no anything. Some people have a slower metabolism, and Zion looks to be one of those guys. We also need to recognize how young he is. Let's be real, we all know his lower extremity issues come with being that size and athletic. It's a downside to his playstyle. It's probably the #1 weakness to his playstyle. However, we also need to recognize that Zion is young, so his body will literally do nothing from this point but slow down metabolism wise. Again, you have to distribute that weight well, as well as keeping in shape so that when you come into the season, you're coming in full stride. Because if you come into the season in shape, you've already shed weight coming into the season, but going forward into the season, you're still gonna continue to lose weight, because it's an 82 game stretch where you're running up and down a court every night for at least 30 minutes. So I'm excited to see his hype and his talent come to fruition finally. Zion is possibly the most hyped and talented star since LeBron, and at this point, like I said, I'm excited for it to come to fruition. I've never doubted Zion having the ability. I just need to see it at the highest level, and I'm ready to see his career take the fuck off. The next guy I have on this list is Lonzo Ball. Now, Zoe has been one of my favorite players since his high school days. He was drafted by my favorite team, and seeing him elevate his game literally every year, going from a 20% three-point shooter to shooting a 36 clip this past year. Now, Lonzo is the main reason why I don't give guys like Ben Simmons a pass, because every year since Lonzo has come into the league, we know he wasn't a good shooter coming into the league, but he worked on it. And in his 4th, 5th year now, he's a pretty formidable shooter that you gotta close out on. Whereas Ben Simmons, we still don't know, bro. It's simple as that. But with regards to Zoe, you know, the reason I'm looking out for him this year, if he plays, because we know he had the meniscus tear, is because I want to see how his knee holds up. Again, not only did he tear his meniscus, which he had a projection of 6 to 8 weeks for recovery, and he had surgery on January 28th of this year, but it was revealed that he also suffered from a bone bruise in that same exact knee, which caused him to be shut down for the rest of the year. Now, that sounds crazy to me if you had a 6 to 8 week timetable with regards to the meniscus tear, but that bone bruise, it took you out pretty much well into April. That's cause for concern, in my opinion. Now, I don't know if you guys follow Ball in the Family closely, I didn't really follow it too closely, but the TV show was a show, basically a reality show on like Snapchat, or I think it was on Facebook now that I'm thinking about it. It was a TV show that followed the Ball family that aired on Facebook, and I remember them having a falling out with Allen. Again, I didn't really follow the show too closely, so of course correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember once they fell out, Allen came out and said that Lonzo had some underlying medical issues with regards to his knees, and that it was due to LeVar making them run on concrete for years and years, running hills and Chino hills, running, you know, 2-a-days where they're training for long, intense hours and things of that nature. Truthfully, I want to see if he loses a step and if he's moving any different. I don't know how much validity there is to Allen's testament, because truth be told, like I said, they had a falling out, and a lot of times, a lot of people in this world, they say some of anything to get their clout up. So that could have been a clout kind of driven thing. But in any case, you know, I just want to see if any of his strengths, like his speed, his defense, his length, his athleticism, any of that is affected. I hope not, because I love Zoe and I wish to see Zoe have a long career. But this year, I think essentially it'll show us a lot with regards to his next couple years hooping. Now, the next guy I have on this list is Taylor Horton Tucker, or THT. I know most Lakers fans, they're looking out for Russ, or maybe even AD, because there has been AD rumors circulating a lot more as of recently, but it's strictly because they want to decide who they want off the team by the trade deadline, at the very latest, at least I think. For me, however, I feel like THT is on the biggest hot seat. Now, the biggest reason to that is he was paid 3 years, $30.78 million. The Lakers are gonna need to figure it out, because THT's strength is supposed to be his offense, his ability to create his own shot. And in his first 3 seasons, he's averaged 9.3 points per game, 2 rebounds, and 2.6 assists. I'm hoping with everything in me as a Laker fan that he flips a switch this year and hits another gear and finally get to the point where he's just touching the mold of potential that we know he can attain. At this point, for the Lakers in general, is going to be an uphill climb, but truthfully, if THT can shift into another gear, maybe he can be valuable to the team, or even past that, be a valuable trade piece at the trade deadline, the same way they would have liked to use him before. I've always felt the 3-year, $30 million deal was a ploy to get him out of there, try to get a team to get that bad deal, thinking that THT would be that guy. And I think every other team called their bluff. So this year will tell us a lot with regards to if THT is really that dude, and we just gonna see, as simple as that. Now we go way across the road to Boston, to the rivals of the LA Lakers, historic rivals, I should say. I got Jason Tatum on this list. Now, this is my number 1 technically. I know I didn't rank the rest of the video, but this one I can rank very easily. JT finally took that next leap this year, and seeing him in the DPOY combo was huge to me. As well as helping lead the Celtics to the finals, this dude had a year like none other with regards to his basketball career. Granted, he had a pretty bad finals performance, but again, he's young, which most people seem to forget. He's only 23, and like I said, I think a lot of people forget a lot of our league stars today are extremely young, because they're going one and done out of college. I believe this year will be the first of JT entering his true prime and seeing a level of basketball from him unlike any other. I believe JT, I feel like he's learned from these finals, and that will only make his offensive game explode to a new level. JT is going to be the next guy that I think reaches the level of the likes of Book, Luka, and Ja, and other younger guys like that. I don't believe he'll quite get to the LeBron, KD, and Giannis level this year, but I think he'll be extremely close. Speaking of Luka and Book, I also believe those guys take the same very step, extremely polished, and they go to that next level. So basically saying, I think JT is going to go to the level Book, Luka is at now, and I think Book and Luka are gonna, this next year, they're gonna be at the level of a LeBron, of a Steph Curry. Now, I'm gonna say this only because I like this take technically. I think it's a take that has good conversation behind it. Now, at first listen to, because most people don't listen to the context of shit, they just hear what they hear and go off of that. Just listen to me and hear me out. At this point with Luka, we know what we got, and his IQ as well as his current strengths they'll only revolve. JT, on the other hand, his game isn't fully polished. JT has a lot more quote unquote to look forward to with regard to his game. And what I mean by that is his defense and athleticism, it's vastly superior to Luka. And the only aspects where we can undeniably say Luka is unarguably better than JT is at his playmaking ability and his IQ. Everything else, truth be told, we can argue it mirrors in skill level. And with the fact that JT is faster, more efficient, and more athletic, I believe when it is all said and done at the end of it all, he'll be the better player. When I say JT has a better ceiling, that just means he pretty much has more to look forward to. Whereas Luka, we know what we got with him. He's not getting any faster. He's not gonna gain any other agility or anything of that nature. We got what we got. He's gonna polish what he has now. Whereas JT, he can get a little faster, he could get a little bit more athletic and things of that nature because he's already fast and athletic. Now the next and final guy is Ant-Man Anthony Edwards. Now not only did bro grow 2 inches during the summer going into his second year last year, but his second year was filled with so many memorable moments. He only jumped 2 points per game, but he does have Cat and D'Lo on his team who are 2 ball dominant players. But regardless of anything else, when you watch him on the court, you could see his game rose to a different level despite it only going up 2 points per game. Now, what I'm most intrigued about with regard to his game is his facilitating and defensive prowess and how he evolved that over the summer. I'm low-key excited to see the Timberwolves with Rudy Gobert because it adds another layer on the defensive end. And as I all know, I'm really not a Gobert fan, but having Cat at the 4 and Gobert at the 5, which I assume they're gonna do, it only makes sense, where he can truly stick to the paint, that might play to his strengths and might see Rudy Gobert succeeding at a level we really didn't think he would or could. With Utah, Rudy had to worry about the difficult decision to either step out on the perimeter to help on a screen and end up being stuck with a mismatch because they forced the switch, or staying in the paint to protect the rim from a driving player. Now, what's so difficult about this is Utah's backcourt on defense is laughable at best. So with the fact that he's going to a team whose backcourt is a little bit better, D'Lo isn't the best defender, but Ant-Man is a pretty good defender. And if he's not a good defender, he has the athleticism to catch up when he gets beat. We've seen it multiple times this year, which I think as he gets older, he gets better with not getting beat and being forced to use his athleticism. Now, Ant-Man is quickly becoming one of my favorite players in the league and is rapidly breaking through the different tiers of stardom. At the moment, I have him around the 3-tier range kinda, but after this year I can see him firmly in the 2nd tier, replacing guys like Tatum, who's gonna make the leap to the 1st year, and then Tatum of course is replacing guys like Luka and Book, who are rising into that upper echelon superstar level. But today, that's all I got for you guys in this video. I appreciate you guys for sticking around with me. Let me know who you guys are watching out for in the NBA. The next video that I come out with is going to be the top 5 teams, so let me know what teams you are trying to watch this coming year. I got a couple on my list, hopefully y'all do too. Until next time, it is your boy TB with the greatest hoop stories discussions on the tube, and I'm out. Peace.